More than 1,100 former prosecutors and officials calling for Attorney General William Barr to resign.
Fox 5 legal analyst Wendy Patrick joining us now to explain. Wendy, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so first we had the 4 prosecutors step down. Now we have 1,100 calling for the resignation. Is this unprecedented? Have we ever heard of this before?
Well, is it unprecedented? Probably in the sense that almost everything that's gone on under this Justice Department, under this presidency, under this administration is unprecedented, including the convictions that we're talking about, in this case being Roger Stone.
Right.
So the real balance of equities here is in sentencing somebody like Stone. First of all, what was he convicted of? He wasn't convicted of murder or rape or anything like that, but sometimes they call them process crimes, but they're very serious. Lying to Congress, obstruction of the investigation, witness tampering.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, the counter argument is you can't sentence him any differently than you would sentence somebody under the same set of facts. In other words, he cannot be given any kind of preference, but he also can't be penalized because of his relationship with the president. So when you have sentencing guidelines, you're no doubt going to have political pressure on both sides to decide, well, what are we going to recommend? But that's not the way that any Justice Department operates. And that's why you see a lot of dissent here. There's obviously the people that were involved, the prosecutors involved, believed it was worth between 7 and 9 years. And then you have William Barr coming in and saying that would be something too excessive. But he is not going to don the black robe and mete out the sentence. That's up to the judge. So what we're talking about, just to give a larger perspective here, is a recommendation that he is, I don't want to say overruling, but let's just say intervening to the extent that he believed what those 4 prosecutors and their team recommended was too harsh.
I feel like over the past few years, there's been a lot of changing of positions, a lot of pressure to resign.
That's right.
Is this, I'm using the word lightly, normal, or does this happen often?
You know, it does, Shali. We forget about it because the news cycle goes on.
Right.
Every time something happens and somebody gets a black eye, oh, well, so-and-so should step down, should be called to resign. It doesn't happen. Now, it happened a lot during the Me Too movement. You all remember that. We talked about this. But in terms of a decision is made that's unpopular, that is allegedly political, as this one is, that is sadly tied chronologically to the president's tweets, as William Barr is not happy about, as you heard him say very publicly on the news. But those kinds of things tend more than others to lend themselves to people saying, oh, you got to step down. Of course he's not going to step down. It's going to keep going on. And William Barr, for his part, is saying he operates with integrity and independence. That's what you want a Justice Department to do. Notwithstanding the optics, which are sometimes bad, depending on which side you're on, he is going to continue to say, I'm going to do my job. And the judge is going to do her job. And she's going to sentence Mr. Stone to what she believes he deserves.
How much more scrutiny is the judge going to get if she decides to go with maybe just a couple of years or stick to the 7 to 9 year recommendation?
Hopefully the public is going to let the judge do her job. You know, it's becoming increasingly difficult for judicial officers to operate with integrity because you do have these different parties weighing in on both sides. You have former, not current, but former DOJ prosecutors saying, hey, we don't believe in this sentence. So be that as it may, a judge's job is to basically operate with independence. That's what we expect our judiciary to do. That's what we believe they are doing. And that's what makes it's a tough job to be in that position today, but we've got to believe she's going to do it independently.
Everybody expects the president to pardon Stone regardless, do they not?
And the president is only fueling that speculation by refusing to say that it's off the table. In fact, what did he say when he was just asked about it this week? Well, maybe not yet. I mean, he's just adding to the palace intrigue surrounding cases like this.
You ask anybody in Washington, they say that he's going to get the pardon. The only question at this point is the timing of it.
That's right.
Right before the election, right after the election. I mean, or obviously not if he doesn't win re-election, but
who's to say that's not what he meant when he made that very controversial statement last week about, well, I'm allowed to intervene in the criminal process. Now, he didn't say interfere, he said intervene, which of course might mean the pardon process. And so whether or not he was talking about Stone or Flynn, who knows, but he is just making us talk about it even more by insinuating that he's going to use it because remember, he has in other cases.
Yeah. When is the sentencing happening? Is it
Well,
Wednesday
it's supposed to be
Thursday?
this Thursday, but now given all of the discussion, let's just say, surrounding this case, maybe it'll be continued. Who knows?
Okay. Wendy Patrick,
stuff.
we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for your time.